it's Patsy. So I've just finished doing a past life reading. Every now and again I do like to do a past life reading. I thought today I'd do one. And I thought I'd come and share it with you for two reasons. One, it's quite interesting, I think, to share these kind of spreads. Two, because it logs it down for me then, and then I can keep going back and writing down as and when I can, and do further kind of research and whatever you into it. So that's the reason why I thought I'd come on and share. So the first card is, was I a male or a female in this lifetime? Now the card that I got, I wasn't quite sure to start with. I thought, it's the page, you know, the page of cups. Is that female, is that male? I wasn't sure. But I thought with the flowers and the teacups, I kind of leant towards a female, but I kind of also got a feeling I didn't live to be old. This wasn't a lifetime that I grew old in. So I went with female, and I knew that the cards would correct me as I went on if that wasn't the case. So the second card is about partnerships in that lifetime. And I got this one, the Knight of Wands. So there was a partnership, and with it being a man on here, I assumed that I was a female. But this was somebody who probably wasn't a home bird, somebody who done his own thing. The key word here is adventurer. So he wasn't going to be tied down, and the fact that he was a knight would sort of kind of indicate me he was either young or he was young at heart and he wasn't going to grow up. So then the next question is about family. What was my family in this lifetime? Now I got this one, which is the King of Swords, and it says authority at the top. Now if you can see there, this looks like bars, and he's carrying something in his hand, you know, and authority, it's the key word. So I kind of get from this that I didn't have a family per se. I kind of got a feeling that my family was either not about, and I was brought up in a care home. That was my initial thoughts, or in kind of looked after by the authorities, that kind of stuff. But it certainly didn't, even if it was a family as we think of family, it wasn't a very kind family by the look of this image and by the keyword and the King of Swords. So whether or not this is telling me that I was brought up in a home, I didn't actually have any loving parents, or whether I did live with my parents, but they was very stern, very cruel, remains to be seen. I need to do some further work on this spread, but this is the kind of image. It wasn't a loving family, whatever way you want to look at it. And there's some cards that come up later what makes me wonder if of different things, but you'll see them as I come to them. But like I said, the first thought was I didn't have a family. The second thought was if I did have a family, there wasn't a very nice family. So that was about my family life. So then it's the fourth one is what did I class was my biggest achievement in this lifetime. And strangely enough, I get this a lot of the times when I'm a female in any past life, I get this card, the Queen of Pentacles. Now the key word is maternity. So my glasses are there. Maternity, and it's a mother cradling her child. So I always get this, like I said, when I'm a female. So my biggest achievement, or I felt my biggest achievement in that lifetime, was being a mother, was having that children and being a mother. And again, you'll find, you find very often when you do these readings that you do get the same kind of lifestyle over and over again. And this is certainly the case. Usually when I'm a female, this usually comes up as my biggest achievement of that lifetime. And strangely enough, if anybody asks me now, what is my biggest achievement, I will say my children. So that was my biggest achievement. Question 5 is what was my spirituality of this time, in this lifetime? Now, the first card that I pulled was the Hermit. Well, three jumped out at me all at once. So the first one was Hermit, because even if there's more than one card, I do keep them because I think they've all got something to say. So, spirituality, the Hermit. So it was something that I did a lot of it in their work. I thought meditation when I saw this, going deep, that kind of thought. So that was my first thought. It was something to do with meditation, or something I could do on my own, something I didn't need to be at a church for, or any religious ceremonies, anything like that. It was something that was solo based, something that was in me, and I didn't need to go anywhere to worship. So then the next card, what come out with it was the Empress. Now, the Empress obviously is very earth, very nature ridden, very earthy, very oh, crikey, my head's going all over the place. Very earth based. She's very Gaia based, that kind of thing. So what I was getting was this was something that was very earth based, something that I did on my own, something what involved nature rather than chapels and all that kind of stuff. And then the other card what come out with it was the Magician. But the thing with this card that really drew my attention was the hand. There's a hand there in his hands here, and that was what stood out to me more than anything. It wasn't so much the name and it wasn't so much the image, it was just the hands what stood out to me. To go with this earth-based kind of, and the Hermit, I kind of think that this was a very earth-based spirituality, and hands was very important. Obviously, if I was growing things, digging and all that sort of stuff, the hands would be important. But I also kind of got the impression of reading palms and that kind of feeling with this, or doing things with the hands, some sort of looking into the future with your hands, do you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. But whatever it was something that I did by myself, something that was very earth-based, and involved hands. So that is what I got for spirituality. So then I'll go on to what was the fears of society in this lifetime. Two cards jumped out for this. The first one is strife, and you can see by that, you know, it's sort of, and the Tower. So these are the two cards that I got for fears of society. So to me, this must have been in a time of major upheaval with the Tower and the image of this card. It must have been at a time of major upheaval, when there was a lot of going on, whether this was war, or whether war on a big scale, or whether it was smaller fights between different communities or what have you. But whatever it was a time of upheaval, a time of strife, a time of upset, and a time of major conflict by the look of this. So this is what the fears of society was at that time, was the aggression and everything falling apart around you, and things changing, big changes I kind of got with that. So what was the joy of society? And the joy of society I got was the Three of Wands. So she's got like a crystal ball here in her hands. Again, it's something to do with the hands, and again, this is what stuck out to me. So I think the joy of society was doing whatever this was that I was doing. That was what was bringing me joy, but also looking towards the future, trying to, you know, look to the future, hoping things was going to get better. That was what gave me joy in this lifetime. So what was the dreams of the society at that time? And I got the Hanged Man, which I thought was a quite strange one. But then I kind of thought, well, I think what the dreams of society was, what things was going to change, that they'd been so bogged down in this kind of society, all this trouble and strife and things falling apart around them, and that for so long, that the only thing they had to look forward to was the future. and hoping that things would change, and they would get out of this rut and be able to move forward. So this is the kind of thing that I got from what there was with this hangman as the dreams of society. So the next question is, what was the karmic pattern of this lifetime? And I got the Three of Swords. So this was a lifetime of sorrow, challenges, heartbreak, and, you know, being let down, being upset, an emotional life. So this is what I kind of get as the karmic pattern for that life, which doesn't surprise me if I'd got this kind of upbringing and a partner who was more for himself than his family. I can understand why, you know, I would probably find disappointment and upset in this lifetime and sorrow. So the next set of questions is, what was your life like as in this lifetime as a child? And again, I got this card, which it says guidance. So I kind of felt with this one that I didn't really have an upbringing as a child as such, as more as not the love and that what you get as children, but just kind of getting the guidance that's needed to put me in the right direction, telling me what I'm supposed to be doing, and that kind of thing. It was more of guidance rather than caring and loving as a child. So then what was your life like as an adolescent? And I got the Ace of Cups, fulfillment. So I think in my adolescence, this is possibly when kind of come in contact with this gentleman, and I was starting to feel that there was a bit of love out there, and, you know, and experience it for the first time in my adolescence, because I certainly didn't get it in earlier life. It was just guidance. So I kind of, and strangely enough, there isn't many cups showed up in this spread, but this is one of them. So this is my adolescence. So I was starting to find that there was such a thing called love, and there was such a thing about people caring about you, and that is what it shows from my adolescence. So then I asked about my adult, what was my life like as an adult, and I got the Star card. So as an adult, I think that I found things that, you know, held a lot of hope. You know, there was always a hope that things was going to turn out well. There was life wasn't bad. I mean, how can it be bad if it's a star? A lot of things that I wanted was there. A lot of my life was a happy life, you know, with the star there. It gave me a lot of hope and encouragement, and hope, you know, hopefully all this kind of thing was falling away. But whatever, as an adult, I found something to be grateful for, something to be happy about, and to embrace, and to, you know, so that was nice. And then when it came to old age, I was shuffling and nothing would come out for old age. So I was, in the end, I was going, okay, I won't do it. And I so then I asked, did I not make it to old age? Is this the reason why you won't show me the card? Because again, when I had this one, I did kind of get this impression I didn't live to be in old age, and this card just would not come out. And the one that flew out to me when I asked was the World card. So I kind of took the meaning from this, that by old age, my life cycle had already come to an end, and I'd moved on. So that feeling that I felt at the start was kind of doubled. Yeah, I didn't make it into old age. By the time I was going to get old, I'd already fulfilled my life cycle. My life cycle was complete, and I'd already moved on by old age. So I didn't make it to old age, which I kind of felt anyway. So the next question is, how did this lifetime affect this lifetime that I'm just going to read now? How has it affected my lifetime now in the past? Does that make sense? And I got the Six of Wands. Now, it says recognition at the top, but it's the face. She's looking down. She doesn't look like she's being recognised, and she's happy that she's being recognised or anything. So I kind of got the impression that in the past I've felt, and I know this is true because it's me, that I wasn't recognised, I wasn't noticed, And I'm not going to go into no detail with this because it's personal, it's my private life and what have you. But this card kind of fits into my past. And yeah, I felt invisible rather than, the key word is recognition. I certainly didn't get any recognition. So yeah, so how does that lifetime affect my present? And I got the Nine of Swords. Now it says cruelty at the top, but I don't read the Nine of Swords as cruelty. The Nine of Swords to me is that too much going on up here, my mind overworking, things going on, you know, that kind of Nine of Swords. That is how I've always read the Nine of Swords, and this is like how did this affect my present? And yeah, I've always been a complete worrier. I worry over anything and everything. That is one of my things as right from being a teen upwards, I suppose. Would be one filled with anxiety and overthinking things and that kind of thing going on in my head all the time. So then it comes to old age. No, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. I've already done old age. So affecting the future. So how does this lifetime, what I've just done the reading for, how is that going to affect my future? And I've got the Wheel of Fortune and this old lady spinning her wheel, making some money. So the way I saw this was that this lifetime I am going to make it to, you know, I'm going to have a change of fortune this lifetime. I am going to make it to old age. I will. Because I didn't in this lifetime experience old age, the lifetime I'm in now, I will experience old age, and you know, I'm going to learn from that, obviously, because obviously in this lifetime I didn't make it. So yeah, so this time my fortune's going to change, and I will be experiencing old age, which is nice to hear. So the last question is, how to overcome the karmic pattern. So how can I overcome this karmic pattern where I suffered all this sorrow and this grief and not being fulfilled, and how can and it's interfered in my life in this life. You know, I've got a lot of anxieties, and I don't feel like I've been recognised when I was younger and what have you. So how can I overcome it? And I got opportunity, and it's the Knight of Cups. So to me, how I can overcome this is to take every opportunity that's offered to me. Don't say no. Just, you know, we all make our own lives, and I think this is what it's telling us. You have to take these opportunities and make your life what you want your life to be. But it has to start with us. And we have to make the changes, we have to make the decisions, we have to take the opportunities to turn the life around if it isn't what you want. So to stop this anxiety and to stop feeling like this, I have got to start creating what I do want. If I don't want this, that's fine, but it's down to me to create what I do want. And I can only do that by taking the opportunity and doing it myself. So that is what I got from the Stretch Tarot. So I then got out my past life cards because I wanted a bit more information about what area this was, where all this was going on, all this you know, this upheaval, and where was this? And the card what flew out was Asia. So again, with this first card, I thought that was quite okay. And this card flew out as well, Mother. And again, I felt that my biggest achievement was motherhood. And obviously in this lifetime, what it's talking about, it come out again. So yes, somewhere in Asia, as a mother. But then this one came up, communal living, which then made me think about this card and this card. So was I brought up in some communal living area where I wasn't really mothered, but I had lots of people who had more authority over me, telling me what I could and couldn't do, and just guided me rather than loved, cherished me and brought me up. So I found this quite fascinating that they came out when I finished this and pulled some from this past life. So that is my past life reading that I've just finished. I've got to do a lot more work on it, but I just found it quite interesting and thought I'd share it with you. Now I've got to find my glasses and put them back on because I can't see a thing. So I will speak to you all soon, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.